They don't want you to know this truth, but you get it anyway. You've always got it anyway, haven't you? That's the thing about you. You've always been able to feel what's underneath, even when everyone around you seems perfectly content living on the surface. The storm is coming. The storm is coming. And I'm not talking about some distant weather system you can track on your phone and prepare for with sandbags and flashlights. I'm talking about the storm that's already gathering inside you, the one you have been trying to ignore for years, the one that's been building pressure in your chest every time you smile at something you don't actually find funny, every time you nod along at something to something you fundamentally disagree with, every time you choose to be small because being big feels too dangerous. The storm is coming, and it's not coming for a reason you think you know. It's coming for a reason that has nothing to do with punishment and everything to do with liberation. Liberation. This truth will shock you, not because it's complicated or hidden behind some ancient code and you need to decipher with special knowledge, but because it's so simple. You have been looking for something right past it your whole life. The truth is this: every single thing you have been taught about how to be safe, how to be loved, how to be acceptable, how to be worthy, every single one of those lessons was designed to keep you contained, and not for your protection, for someone else's comfort. You feel it, don't you? You feel it right now. That little vibration under your skin that says something's off. Something's been off for a long time. And you have been so good at pretending otherwise that you almost convince yourself that pretending was the same as peace. But it's not peace. It's not peace at all. It's numbness. It's the kind of quiet that comes from turning down your own volume so much that you can barely hear yourself think. And here is the part that's going to hit you right in the chest. You are not the only one who did this to you. You had help. You had people who needed you to be small so they could be big. You had systems that needed you to be compliant so they could stay stable. You had love that came with conditions and approval that came with performance, and acceptance that came with erasing parts of yourself you didn't even know you were erasing. The storm is coming. And this truth will shock you because it's going to show you something you have been running from your entire life. You have asked for this storm. You have asked. Not consciously, maybe. Not with words you spoke out loud or prayed you wrote down in a journal, but somewhere deep in you where the real voice lives. You have been asking for something to change. You have been asking for permission to be who you actually are. You have been asking for the courage to stop pretending. You have been asking for a force strong enough to break through all the walls you've built, all the armor you've strapped on, all the masks you've learned to wear so well that sometimes you forget you are wearing anything at all. And that request that deep, desperate, almost silent plea for something to give. That's what's calling the storm. But here's the thing about storms. They don't arrive gently. They don't tiptoe in and ask politely if you are ready. They come in with winds that rattle your window and shake your foundation and make you question every decision you have ever made. They come in with rain that feels like it's never going to stop, with thunder that sounds like the sky itself is cracking open. And in the middle of it, when you are standing there soaked and shivering and wondering why you ever asked for any of this, that's when you realize the storm isn't here to destroy you. It's here to destroy the things that have been destroying you. You have been living with expectations your whole life. Not your expectations, other people's. Expectations that were placed on you before you even knew what was happening. Expectations about who you should be, what you should want, how you should act, what you should believe, who you should love, how you should work, what you should prioritize, what you should sacrifice. And you have been carrying all of these expectations around like a suitcase full of rocks, dragging them everywhere you go, and you have gotten so used to that weight that you don't even notice you are exhausted anymore. You just wake up tired and go to sleep tired and tell yourself it's normal. It is just life. Everyone feels this way. But this truth will shock you because it's going to show you something you have been looking for your whole life. The answer you have been asking for has been here all along. It just looks different than you expected. Let me give you something concrete. Because I know how you think, how you process. I know you need to feel it in your body, not just hear it in your head. So think about a moment, a specific moment. Maybe it's Saturday morning and you are laying in bed for 30 seconds, maybe 45 for someone. Maybe before your brain fully kicks in and starts doing all the things it does. You feel something underneath everything, something that feels like you before you learned to be someone else. Something that smells like possibility, that sounds like a voice you haven't heard in years, that tastes like the life you thought you were going to live back when you still believe you had choices. And then your mind wakes up and you remember, oh right, I cannot be that person. That person wouldn't be safe. That person would make people uncomfortable. That person might lose things, lose people, lose the stability you've worked so hard to build. So you push that feeling down. You close the door on it. You watch it go like a train pulling away from a station, and you tell yourself, you convince yourself, you will catch it next time. Except next time comes and you do the same thing. And the next time, and the next time, and the next time, until you forget. The train was ever there. And here is what you don't say to anyone. Here is what you keep locked up so tight you can barely admit it to yourself in the dark. You missed that person. You missed that person, yeah. Not the wanting itself, not the specific desire for whatever it was you wanted, but the version of you that was brave enough to want it all. The version that didn't calculate the cost before opening his mouth. The version that didn't ask permission to have an appetite. The version that just existed fully and unapologetically. And somehow that was enough. You still feel that ghost sometimes, especially on mornings like this, when the pressure inside you is building so high, you can feel it in the tension between your shoulder blades, in the headache that starts behind your eyes, in the way your jaw clenches even when you're trying to relax. That ghost is the most alive you have ever been, and you have been trying to kill it ever since someone told you it was too much, too loud, too big, too weird, too something. Always too something, and never enough. Never enough. The storm is coming, because that ghost is done waiting, is done being buried, is done being polite, is done making space for everyone else while shrinking itself smaller and smaller until it barely takes up any room at all. The storm is coming because that ghost has decided it's time to come back to life. And it doesn't care anymore about the consequences. It doesn't care at all. Let me tell you something that might be uncomfortable to hear. You have been lying to yourself. I want to say that gently. You've been telling yourself that being small is safe, that being agreeable is nice, that being invisible is protection. And on some level, that's true, yeah, that small is safe in the way that a cage is safe. A cage keeps you from being eaten by predators. A cage also keeps you from running free, from feeling the wind in your hair, from discovering what your legs are capable of. You have been in a cage, maybe a beautiful cage, your whole life, and you've convinced yourself it's a house, a comfortable house with walls and furniture and everything you need. Except the door has always been unlocked, and you have been too scared to walk through it. The truth will shock you, because you are going to realize that the door was never locked. It never was. The only thing keeping you in that cage is the belief that you need to be there. And that belief isn't yours. It was given to you, sold to you, pressed into you like a brand. You have been living someone else's version of your life. And you've done such a good job that you almost forgot it's someone else's script you've been reading from. Here's what the storm will do. It's going to steer away the expectations that were placed on you. Not gently, not kind, unfortunately. Not with any concern for your comfort. It's going to rip them off like bandages that have been stuck too long. And yes, it's going to hurt. Yes. There is going to be a moment where you wish you could just go back to the way things were before. Back when you didn't know, back when you could pretend, back when you could sleep through the night without waking up at 3 in the morning with that feeling in your chest that that something fundamental is wrong. But you cannot go back. Nobody can go back. Once you have felt, the truth in your body, once you have recognized that the life you have been living isn't yours, you cannot unfeel it. You can try. Lord knows you've been trying. You can throw yourself into work, into relationships, into anything that keeps you busy enough that you don't have to sit with yourself. You can numb it with food and substances or screens or any of the other million ways we have to avoid ourselves. But the truth, that terrible, beautiful, overwhelming truth is not going anywhere. It's patient. It's been waiting longer than you know. And here is something else you might not want to hear. You asked for this. Somewhere in you asked. You might have asked because you were tired of pretending. You might have asked because you knew deep down that you deserved more than the crumbs you've been accepting. You might have asked because you heard that voice, that little voice, little child inside you, that ghost whispered to you in a moment of quiet that there is something more, something real, something that's actually yours, not borrowed, not inherited, not given to you conditionally. And spirit, whatever you want to call it, the universe, my beautiful universe, your higher self, of course, the organizing intelligence of existence, the thing that doesn't need a name actually, because it just is, heard you, and it answered. But the answer didn't come as a gentle suggestion or a whisper in your ear. It came as a storm, something big enough to get your attention, something powerful enough to shake loose everything that needed to go, something chaotic enough that you couldn't control it, couldn't predict it, couldn't plan for it. Because if you could control it, you would have already done it on your own. You have been trying to control yourself out of freedom your whole life, and it's not working. This truth will shock you. Yeah. The answer you've been looking for is that you had it all along. The permission you've been seeking was already yours. The approval you've been chasing was something you never needed to ask for. You are allowed to be who you actually are, not the version that's most comfortable for other people, not the version that fits neatly into whatever box you've been assigned, not the version that makes everyone around you feel safe and unchallenged and unthreatened. You are allowed to be the version that scares them. Not in a creepy way, of course. No. The version that sees through the lies. The version that knows something's wrong and will not stop until it's right. I'm going to say something that might feel like an accusation, and I want you to know it's not. It's recognition. It's validation. It's me seeing you in a way most people don't. You have been playing defense your whole life. You have been looking for red flags, watching your back, anticipating the worst, protecting yourself from disappointment, from rejection, from the million ways other people could hurt you if you let them, of course. And that's not wrong. There is wisdom in being careful. There is intelligence in being strategic. But You have taken it so far that you've forgotten how to play offense. You've forgotten how to go after what you want. You've forgotten how to take up space. You have forgotten how to be the one who makes things happen instead of the one who just reacts to what everyone else does. The storm is coming because you need to switch. You need to turn around and start moving towards something instead of always running from something. You need to see the green flags too, not just the red ones. You need to notice what's possible instead of only what's dangerous. You need to see the doors that's open instead of obsessing over the ones that are closed. And here is the thing. You are prepared for this. Yes, you are. I know you think you are not. I know you feel like you've been caught off guard, like the storm came too early, like you haven't done enough work, like you are not ready, but you are. You've been preparing for this your whole life without even knowing it. Every moment, you have spent wondering why you feel different. Every night you've lain awake feeling like you don't belong in the life you have built. Every single time you had to hold yourself back from saying what you really think. That was preparation, that was training, that was the work being done in you, even when you couldn't see it. Somebody taught you to believe something that isn't true. Somebody convinced you that your instincts are wrong, that your feelings are irrational, that your perceptions are distorted. Maybe it was a parent who couldn't handle your emotions. Maybe it was a partner lover who needed you to be smaller so they could feel bigger. Maybe it was a system, an institution, a culture that profits from your silence, your constant self-doubt. Or maybe it was all of them working together like a chorus that's been singing the same lie at you your whole life until you cannot hear your own voice anymore. And that voice is still there. That voice, yeah. And it's tired of being drowned out. It's tired of being told it's wrong when it's right, that it's too much when it's just enough, that it's dangerous when it's actually the only thing that's safe. The storm is coming to amplify that voice, to turn up its volume so loud that no chorus, no system, no person, no expectation can drown it out. You are going to hear yourself for the first time in years, maybe for the first time ever. And what you are going to hear is going to shock you. Not because it's unfamiliar, but because you recognize it. It's you, it's the real you. The you have been missing your whole life. Here's the truth that's going to hit you right in the solar plexus. You already know everything you need to know. You don't need to read another book or take another course or sit through another therapy session or ask for someone else's permission or wait for someone else's approval. The answers, plural, are already inside you. They have always been inside you. You have just been looking everywhere else because looking inside is too frightening, too quiet, too likely to show like you things you've been running from your whole life. But running isn't working anymore, is it? You are tired. You are so tired. You are tired of feeling like you have to perform, to produce, to pretend. You are tired of having to be the one person with one group and another person with another group, and never really knowing who you are when you're alone. You are tired of carrying expectations that don't belong to you. You are tired of accommodating people who would never accommodate you. You are tired of giving and giving and giving until there's nothing left. You are tired of waking up feeling like you have nothing to look forward to except more of the same. The storm is coming to break that cycle. And I'm not going to promise you it will be easy, because that will be a lie. And you have been lied to enough. It's going to be one of the hardest things you've ever done. It's going to require courage you didn't know you had. It's going to require you to stand up to people you've been trying to please your whole life. It's going to require you to lose things, people you thought you couldn't live without. It's going to require you to take responsibility for the life you want to live, instead of just accepting the life you've been giving. But here's what I can promise you. It's going to be worth it. Everything you lose will be something you never needed anyway. Everyone who cannot handle the real you was never really with you in the first place. Every comfort you sacrifice will be replaced by something infinitely better. You are going to wake up one morning, and instead of that heavy feeling in your chest, you are going to feel light, free, like the thing that was pressing down on you your whole life is finally gone. And you are going to look at yourself in the mirror, and you are not going to see the person you've been pretending to be. You are going to see yourself for real this time. No masks, no armor, no performance. The storm is coming to get you there. And yes, it's going to be loud. Yes, it's going to be intense. Yes, there are going to be moments where you think you cannot take it anymore. But you can. You have more strength than you know. You have already survived so much. You've already carried so much. You have already done so much of the work without even realizing it. The storm isn't going to break you. It's going to break the things that have been holding you back. This truth will shock you. The permission you have been asking for isn't something you need to earn. It's not something someone else can give you or take away from you. It's inherent in your existence. You are already allowed to be who you are. You always have been. The only thing stopping you is the belief that you are not allowed. And that belief is a lie. It was sold to you by people who either didn't know better or didn't want you to know better. It's been keeping you in a cage that was never locked in the first place. You're not going to be the same person you were when the storm began. That's the point. You are going to emerge from this as someone new, not a stranger, but more like yourself than you've ever been. More fully yourself, more free, more alive, more connected to the person you were always meant to be, the person you've been missing, the person you asked to come back. You have been waiting for the answer. You have been asking the universe, asking yourself, asking anyone who would listen what you are supposed to do, who you are supposed to be, how you are supposed to get out of this life you don't seem to want anymore. And here's your answer. The storm is your answer. The chaos is your answer. The difficulty is your answer. You are being shaken so you can be rearranged in a way that actually fits. You are being broken so you can be rebuilt on a foundation that's actually yours. The storm is coming. It's already here. Can you feel it? Can you feel the pressure building, the tension rising, the sense that something is about to give? That's not anxiety. That's transformation knocking on your door. You have been asking for change, yeah. And change is here. It might not look like the way you expected it to. It might not feel the way you wanted to, but it's here. It's not going away until it's done what it came to do. So stop fighting it. Stop trying to control it. Stop pretending it's not happening. Let it move through you. Let it clear out everything that needs to go. And when it's over, when the wind dies down, the rain stops, and the sun comes out, you are going to be standing in a life that actually feels like yours. You are going to be standing in a life that you choose, not the one that was chosen for you. You are going to be standing in a life where you can finally breathe. And you are going to look back at the storm and realize it was the best thing that ever happened to you. Not because it was comfortable or pleasant or fun, but because it finally did what you couldn't do on your own. It freed you. It gave you back yourself. It answered the question you've been asking your whole life. And the answer was always yes. Yes, you are allowed. Yes, you're worthy. Yes, you can be who you actually are. Yes, it's safe to be seen. Yes, it's time. It's time. They don't want you to know this truth, but you get it anyway. You have always gotten it anyway, and the storm is coming to prove it.